How Russian electronic warfare is winning the war in Ukraine. RUSI report. The effectiveness of Russian jamming is now such that Ukrainian communications and GPS-guided bombs and other smart weapons such as HIMARS are no longer guaranteed to strike their targets. This is according to a recent study by the UK's Royal United Services Institute, RUSI. Russian electronic warfare systems seem to be using their signals to drown out the GPS guidance signal from satellites. Leading RUSI researcher Thomas Withington states that, quote, "The problem may well be the sheer power of the jamming signal that can be brought to bear." Leaked Pentagon documents, JDAMs. This study backs up the Pentagon documents that were leaked in April and revealed that Russian jamming was reducing the accuracy of Western-supplied guided munitions, including JDAM and HIMARS rockets. The JDAM extended-range bombs sent to Ukraine have a range of up to 50 miles, allowing aircraft to be safely out of range of Russian air defences. Furthermore, JDAMs are a cost-effective way of using up cheap old dumb bombs by simply adding the JDAM guidance system and pins. So the fact that Russia is able to effectively jam their use is particularly devastating for Ukraine. These GPS-guided munitions gave Ukraine a way of negating Russian superiority in manpower and weapons. This was demonstrated in Ukraine's summer 2022 counteroffensive when HIMARS rockets were used to devastating effect against Russian headquarters and supply dumps. Russian jamming systems. The Russian military inherited its electronic warfare capabilities from its Soviet predecessor, which was known to have devoted huge resources in developing this area. The RUSI study singles out the Russian Army's R330ZH Zytel electronic warfare system in particular, manufactured by NVP Protech, a truck-mounted jamming complex designed to disrupt GPS and satellite communications in the 100 MHz to 2 GHz wavebands. Withington states, quote, "Signals from the US GPS satellites which JDAM kits use are transmitted on wavebands from 1.164 GHz to 1.575 GHz. These fall squarely within the R330ZH's catchment area. The R330ZH effective jamming range is said to be 18.6 miles, with a 10 kilowatt strong jamming signal. This is notably stronger than the strength of the GPS signal arriving from space," Withington states. Russia's efforts at countering Western GPS-guided weapons systems are part of a huge electronic warfare campaign that has also effectively disrupted Ukrainian radio communications and drone operations. Furthermore, Russian forces now employ approximately one major electronic warfare system per 10 kilometers, or 6.2 miles of frontage, usually situated approximately 7 kilometers or 4.3 miles from the front line, according to a RUSI report on Russian tactics. This jamming has contributed to a Ukrainian drone loss rate that RUSI estimates to be an incredible 10,000 UAVs per month. Disrupting radio communications. The RUSI report further states that Russian electronic warfare troops are also highly capable at intercepting and decrypting Ukrainian radio communications. In one particular instance, they managed to intercept and decode an encrypted radio message from Ukrainian troops calling in a fire mission in real time, enabling Russian commanders to transmit a preemptive warning to the units that were about to be hit. Not quite a one-way street. This jamming war is not completely one-sided, however, as Russian electronic warfare units have been located and destroyed when Ukrainian electronic warfare troops were able to spot them, as when a jamming signal is being emitted, this is visible to the other side. However, the relatively high mobility of the Russian R330ZH Zytel system in particular tends to reduce the chances of being spotted, as long as a crew shoots and scoots, that is, the crew transmits its jamming signal for the minimum duration necessary, and then leaves to set up a new location. Outro. What can Ukraine, the USA, NATO do about this seeming imbalance in electronic warfare systems in the Russia-Ukraine conflict? The Russian army has had decades of research and development in this area and seems to have the upper hand for now. If this situation is to be overcome, it seems that the Western powers must devote more resources in finding creative solutions to the problem. It's like a game of chess, however, in that when one side seems to gain the upper hand, the other may come in with a checkmate. For now at least, Russia has the upper hand and time is not on the Ukrainian side.